Um, Welcome everyone to this event. As you guys know, the event Start Your Journey to be an Azure Architect. We're going to be joined by Chirag Nair. Something about Chirag. He's an early adopter of public cloud and certified architect in all major cloud platforms with almost 3.6 years of experience working with different industry verticals for enabling the cloud journey. Currently on the vision to spread cloud awareness in our country so everyone will be cloud future ready. He is holding 4 Azure and a total of 21 cloud certifications to date. As he wanted to be an astronaut, his determination led him to go through the Apollo 11 source code for weeks. So welcome everyone, and welcome Chirag sir. Are you there?
Yeah. Most of all, I would like to say about him is like he's very friendly, and the way he talks, he makes people learn all of his things. Welcome, Chirag. Welcome, Chirag sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Chirag, sir. I believe I'm audible properly. Let me also on my camera so that everyone able to see me.
Yeah, you are audible.
Yeah, good evening. Hey everyone. If anyone is not able to hear me, they can drop a message in the chat and I will try to see if any concern from my side. And welcome and good evening everyone for tuning. First of all, I would like to thank Ganesh, Smriti, Ali, and the whole MSP Mumbai team for arranging this session and inviting me. It's a privilege to be here, and a lot of things are going. And let's make the next hour be more, resourceful and learnful, so that you will get some idea where or what kind of journey you can pick by choosing Microsoft Azure as a choice of platform, right? So I believe I am looking for a couple of responses that if everyone able to see me and the voice is clear. I will wait for 10 to 15 seconds. Please drop some.
Yes, we are able to see you.
Okay, yeah, and I also we can see you. Okay, and I request you please put yourself on mute. I also see you. Right. So please put yourself on mute and let's start our session and discussion. And then when the at the end of a session there will be Q&A, and feel free to drop your question. Meanwhile, while the session is going on, I will try to cover at the end and try to answer as much as possible. Okay, let me share.
Ganesh, can we pin Chirag sir on the screen?
Yes, I was gonna tell. Yeah.
So I have pinned him now. Can you guys see him?
I mean, I'm on mobile, so I cannot see him. So those who are on laptop, they can probably see him. Okay, Chirag sir, go on.
Okay, great. Let me share my screen also with this presentation, and I believe everyone able to see the presentation now, right? All right, guys, welcome. So we are going to talk about how you can start your Microsoft Azure journey, whether you are a fresh graduate, you are in your final year, or in your early year of engineering, or whatever the courses you are doing. But cloud is nowadays essential. It is not only bound for the technical things or not only for the technical stream people. Anyone can learn it. It's all about a dedication and the efforts. At the end, I always try to say and deliver the message that the result will be outcome of your efforts. The same with me, I will try to share my own journey also, and I will try to share the concerns or issues which I faced, so that if you are at that stage, you will not face, and you will try to design your roadmap in an efficient way so that the results will be there. So little bit about me. As I started, this is the most important thing. I started my cloud learning journey with Windows Azure. That was a time I was in my first, and I was completing my first year back in 2013 and 2012 and 13, and I got introduced from my college in the program named DreamSpark. Maybe that is, I believe that is now become that MSP, but previously 10 years back it was known as DreamSpark. Under that I got the information about Windows Azure. At that time, it was known as Windows Azure because Microsoft always known to be, supported to their homegrown product. But in 2013, they rebrand, they change their strategy, and they understand that they need to be more open. And I believe everyone know and read about that Microsoft is one of the top contributor in the open source project. So I was learning from that era. I see even changes. Previously, it was Silverlight based portal, and then when the new portal introduced, it took couple of years to reshift from that portal experience to the existing one. If you have your own Azure account or if you see in demos, so I'm playing from that era to nowadays. Now it is becoming for me my bread and butter, and professionally I'm doing Microsoft Azure in a heavy way. And so my journey started from that time, and it took so long for me also to understand a lot of things, because few things I missed at that time, which I am learning now in the industry every day. And I have around 4 Azure certification, and even my first cloud certification was on Azure back in December 2014. And my major role is on the cloud infrastructure and security design, like designing the cloud roadmap journey for the customers. And it's my Twitter handle. You can tag me, feel free to share with your peers, and my email ID is also here. If you have any kind of question, feel free to drop me. I will try my best to respond as soon as possible. And a few months back, I started my YouTube channel. Feel free to subscribe there. I try to put more and more content around the cloud and career in cloud. So our agenda for today is, I would like to start with the very basic. I don't want to bore to put like only the basic part, because I believe as we are the part of all MSP, and nowadays resources are easily available. It's not that cloud is a new thing or any rocket science we are going to do, but to set the expectation that what and where the things are going and what kind of opportunity and what is for you, each one of you from in this session, because not everyone want to become a developer, not everyone want to become a system admin or any other major role, maybe DB architect or data analyst or data engineer. So I will try to cover the whole aspect from the different perspective, so that at the end you all have the idea that where the things in and where you can start. So again, little bit history, why the cloud is required, and then I will jump to introduction to Microsoft Azure. What are the key area or key component which really need to be on tips, and basics about compute network storage, which is the essential for everything. So I try to put my focus on that level, not only from the basic level, but maybe a little bit from the intermediate level. And if you are planning and if you think that you want to be an architect level person, then I will try to cover that point. And for MSPs and all other even student, if you are looking for starting your certification journey, or if you have already planned, so AZ900 is the Microsoft fundamental exam, which is a starting point, which will give you the idea how the Microsoft is taking the exam, what are the exam pattern and what you can expect. I will try to share a couple of tips so that it will be help in your journey. So let's go to the history, maybe back in 1960s, 70s, when the computer was new and industry was started talking about the computation and started talking about the digitalization. Even right now, we are living in the era of industry 4.0, or we are calling it as nowadays, it's a digital transformation journey. Most of the industries are in the verge to adopting the digital transformation strategy, and cloud is playing a major role in that. Because the previous system, if we talk about, it was a very bulky, very complex, very expensive, very time consuming to set up. And if any failure happened, it took months and months to recover those kind of things. But the another aspect at that time also, the demand and adoption was less. But now we can't live without our own mobile phone. It is the necessity now, not the luxury. So the thought is changing, the world is changing, the adoption is changing. Even 8 years back when I started, there was a very less mobility, very less bandwidth and very less consumption. But we all see, or we all are the part of same journey from last 4, 5, 6 years, that how the data consumption, data is getting cheap, and we are expecting that application perform more faster, and it need to be, the user experience need to be always awesome. So it is something that we as a human being are getting more and more impatient. Previously, let's say 10 years back, If a website is opening in a 10 second, it's okay. We said it's okay because this is how the things are working. But now if the same kind of thing happen, we are so impatient, we will drop that. We will think about some other application or some alternative option for same kind of thing which we are trying to do from that website. And we were coming from this era of mainframes. Those were very proprietary and very purpose specific. And now we are talking about x86 architecture or even ARM architectures, which are more open and suitable for multiple workloads. So this is a little bit history. Try to understand the basics are still same. The foundation is still there. Whatever the norms or whatever the rules have been created, those are all still valid. Maybe more improvised versions are nowadays which we are using. The same, like giving you a quick example, internet is internet. Previously maybe we have used 256 kbps or 512, but nowadays 100 mbps in our home broadband is also an easy task. We are getting it in a very easy way and we are accessing internet in a heavy way. So think from that angle why this happened, why it is required. So you will lead to the history rather than directly jumping on the cloud. It becomes the top to bottom, but I suggest okay, because the focus is cloud. But if you know a little bit of history of IT, why the cloud is required, it will be much helpful in the long term, right? Because necessity is the mother of invention. If there is no need, then we don't need to invent anything. We are happy, we are living our life happily, right? But the thing, as I started saying, that from the last 10 years, we all see, and the country, in our country, it is something we have the most cheapest data access and we are utilizing in a most efficient way. We can see our own learning style, learning curve are getting changed. We are more dependent upon more digital stuff rather than the physical and other mediums. So necessity here is the mother of invention, and we are looking for, and this is the high time. This is the time due to the whatever the current situation going in the globally, the cloud is at a peak. Even they need like the Microsoft Azure is trying to fulfill the capacity as soon as possible. But this is the high time everyone started following and understand that where cloud fits best, because we are following the culture of work from home now, right? So this is where now, because again, the cloud is not a new thing. It was talked back in 20 years back, also 10 years back, when the slowly things started cooking. And in era of 2016, 17, 18, I am one of I can say the witness that I see in our country, the momentum started going, the adoption started going, because when I was in my final year, I was looking for a job and it was tough for me to figure out because cloud was very new at that time in the market. But I made my decision at that time. I want to stick in the cloud career. I don't want to go for some other career path. Other career paths are there, but now cloud is becoming the wrapper around all those things, whether you are a developer or a system admin person, or you love only Linux, or even you love the new kind of technology, let's say the blockchain or quantum computing or machine learning, AI. So cloud is covering each area from a different angle. But at the end, when it comes to the scale and the production level thing, the basics need to be clear. That is the most important part and the most missing part in our learning, that we miss that because we are getting access at a higher level or abstracted level easily, and we try to learn directly and jump directly there. And at the end, when the things will come, we will start, pushing the effort to learn the basic thing again and again. So a little bit about basic of cloud. There are endless definitions are there, but I always suggest to follow some kind of standard. So here a link published from the NIST. They have published a paper about, like, you can say, the industry adopted cloud definition. So feel free, I will share this presentation. Feel free to go to this link, download. It's a 5-6 pages of document. Just read that, and it is a very simple language. No technical jargons are there, but it will clarify your doubts where the cloud is standing and what is the actual. So it is like we understand that cloud computing is renting a car, because as I mentioned in the history, we need to buy a physical server. We need to put it in some kind of a physical room which need to be properly secure, because data is again the most expensive and critical thing in this world. And to manage that kind of server or physical hardware, it need to be there are requirement of some people resources, the human manpower is required to manage that, and if any failure happen, then the whole life cycle of the any industry process need to follow. But cloud is trying to solve that problem because Microsoft is not no longer a new organization. They are in the market for more than 40 years, and recently I believe in April only they completed their 44th year or 45th year, something like that. I read that news. So they are coming from the broad experience, from the broad industry vertical, that how the things are happening, the research and all those things, because they have the resources, they have a big billion pockets to invest heavily than any new business or any small or medium scale business. That is where the cloud is coming into picture. It is not that cloud which we are seeing in the sky. At the end, it is someone else's computer, but it is coming in a package of which is fulfilling the standards of security, the isolation, the performance, the pricing, all those things are covered, and that is where the certification or the compliances come into picture for any cloud platform. So this is just a basic of cloud I want to share more, I believe, because we are interacting and we understand, and we will explore from the multiple angles in this session. So let me tell you, as I mentioned, that just give me a second. As I mentioned, that this is someone else's computer, and that computer is at a massive scale. It is not a single computer, maybe millions of physical, those kind of devices that is placed on a physical geography that is fully taken care by Microsoft Azure. And this diagram is showing that all these blue dots are something which is owned by Microsoft, built by Microsoft, and managed by Microsoft, and it is exposed to us via the API, and for which we are accessing using this portal or command line tools or SDKs. So now try to understand that it is a hardware. To us, it is provided as an API service because we don't have the physical access of any data center, and they have expanded globally. It is not that they are in only one region. They are covering around 6 continents, and Azure first came into market on 1st of February 2010. Even before that, even 2008, they have some services, but it was not marketed or not open at a big scale. But on 1st February 2010, it is open to access, like we can use it as a pay as you go or subscribe, and then we will start utilizing those services. At that time, the catalog was small, not very much services were there, but few which they're trying to showcase the value of cloud and how it will work. And then it is known as a Project Red Dot internally. So these are the blue dots which is owned by, because they are expanding more and more wherever the need, because we human are getting impatient. Keep always remember, human come first, technology is always secondary. That is another myth. Even it was with me in my career that I always think about, hey, if there's a technology, I will solve the problem like that. I am also passing through that student phase. So try to understand from that perspective. Now even my own thoughts are changing. Until unless there is no human problem, there is no need of technology or no value of technology, right? And every technology have its value somehow, somewhere it is trying to solve the problem of whatever the humans are facing. So there is always a value of everything, and that is where we are now moving, and it is expanding in a bigger way. So right now it is having a 58 region. So a region is considered as a one physical location which is having a full-fledged multiple buildings, and which is highly connected, managed fully by Microsoft and Microsoft people, and it is exposed to us via API. So they have 58 region in 6 continents. Only the Antarctica is a place where there is no region, and even in Africa, all those you can see this blue dot, and there is a one funda of the white dots. If you are able to see, it is something I'm going to cover next, because of this is where the power of research and engineering come into picture, and without anything customer notice, being as an end user, things are getting implemented because we started following API things as our standard. So API become now de facto for anything in this world. Everything, even we are developing any application, at the end we are looking for provide us a API endpoint so that it can be integrated with some other system. In the case of any technology, whether you talk about the databases or machine learning or AI, we are at the end asking for give me the endpoint. I will integrate in my application so that my application will work or interact with this system. So I will talk about that, the value proposition, and apart from that, 130 CDN point of presence location. So this is something again come from the human impatient thing, because we don't want that our site or our application will load slower. Even again, right now we are experiencing the same, because the way the bandwidth or data is getting consumed, everyone is sitting home and we are connected via the internet, and there is a load on all side of network, and the providing more and more better experience. These all small technology services come into picture, so that even there is a one user failure is overall, it will impact the goal of any organization KPI. It doesn't mean that they don't care about the one user or two user, maybe whether it's a million user out of one, even if not able to provide, it is a loss for a business. So it is something that we need to understand, that how we can translate the business value and business proposition into the technology point, and then cloud is the answer, and cloud will cover all of those areas. So CDN is something, if you heard about content delivery network, that once the first, let's say our website, giving a very typical example of website, our website is hosted in US region or somewhere in US data center, not only for Azure. Let's say a very typical, you just hosted your website on US and you are accessing it from India. So obviously that data need to be traveled from some kind of sea cables and all this, and it will take some time, or some latencies will be there, because from the DNS resolution to the to propagation from all those host, and then the response will come back, it will take some time, but we want to make the things as quickly as possible. So the CDN kind of things come into picture, which will help you to cache the thing near to the user requested location. Let's say in India, Microsoft having around 5 to 6 CDN location. First request will go to US, but the next request, let's say, which consists of images or some kind of static content, that will be served from the nearby location, so that from the next user or user from the same geography, the experience will be much smoother. So coming into that part, that how these regions are designed, that is, guys, the most important thing for designing anything, whether you are at a basic level or at an advanced level, or you are looking to become an architect. That is the key point which you really need to understand for any cloud platform. And here in the case of, we are going to explore for Microsoft Azure specific. So a region is now considered as a one geography or one city. In India, Microsoft has a 3 different regions. One is in Mumbai, one is in Pune, and another is in Chennai, right? That is where there is some kind of some kind of specific things which is required that Microsoft built in that way, because it may happen that they don't need to, but there is something, because they want to target the business in that way. There are some kind of country specific laws which a cloud provider need to fulfill, right? So one data center or one region can consist of a single big data center, like let's say as they are explaining, it's something like a 2 to 4 football field size physical location where they build their data center. They put all the physical network cable cooling with the proper backup mechanism of those physical things, not the technical backup, but let's say the cooling backup, the water supply, the electricity, all those things, that is covered by them. We don't need to pay about anything, and that is set up at a bigger scale, and they are exposing the things via to us APIs and from the portal, all those things which we are accessing. But now think, this is a one big area in our city, Mumbai, right? So Microsoft distributed that area in a bigger way and try to understand and put or distribute it in the logical fashion, that if let's say a one area, even physical area can fail, that is a thumb rule of cloud, that things will fail. and we need to prepare or we need to design for failure rather than thinking that my application will never fail. That is the mindset which cloud is bringing. That is where the organization change, mindset, behavior, and digital transformation journeys come into picture. Previously we are planning for, okay, we need to buy the super good hardware or all those devices so that it's lifelong lifetime will be higher, and we need to put some upfront money to buy those expensive hardware. But here we are designing for fail. We are designing that surely our architecture is going to fail. That is the first key point. Make a note that will really help for long term. We need to design for failure, because as quickly as we fail, we will be able in that position to understand that how to recover and how to mitigate those failures. That is where a good architecture or a work of an architect come into picture, to figure out the risk factor or doing the risk assessment as quickly as possible. From the physical side, Microsoft is also building the same, because they are designing the things to fail, and so that they can quickly recover the things and build their things, and so it will get back to the service as quickly as possible. So a region consists of multiple physical location. That is where those white dotted come into picture. Right now in India, it is not, it is coming slowly, because the logic behind that, because the demand is now high and Microsoft want to fulfill those demand, and rather than putting again expanding on the same physical location or physical geography, they are designing something like one physical location is there, maybe 10 to 50 or at least 50 to 100 miles apart, some other physical location they are building. Again, there's football size, field size physical location, and that will be connected via the internal network, and the whole network is owned by Microsoft or leased by Microsoft. Even Microsoft is heavily invested in C cables. You can see I am going to share some resources around that, and I will highly recommend, I suggest that that will be the 1 hour, the best 1 hour from your next 24 hour. I will highly recommend. I will share that link at the end about that video. It's a 1 hour or 70 minutes talk by Microsoft Azure CTO of Microsoft Azure, Mark Russinovich. I will recommend to watch that, and I will share the link. So you will get an idea where the things are going, where the physical engineering and research is going, because at the end we are a consumer, we are expecting our cloud will work fast, things will be easily available, whatever the basic of cloud definitions are given. So the physical location, now they are designing it in a different physical apart from the one location. They are putting that so that in case of even a one location went down, the whole one location, which is let's say having a 20,000 of physical rack and servers, the other will not get impact. That is where the concept of resiliency come into picture, and in the normal term we call it as we are looking for a high availability fault tolerance. These all terms are interrelated and somehow dependent on each other, that because from the ground step by step, if we started learning, all these things will be clear. But as we are always over enthusiast and we are trying to do as quickly as possible, we follow the route of top to bottom, that okay, the service is there, because cloud is giving me this thing, I don't need to worry about what's going underneath. But if you are serious about your cloud career and cloud journey, these are the most important thing, and these things need to be on tips. These things, okay, it will take some time. It is not that 1 hour or 2 hour course you will watch and you will get the idea. It will take some time, and the things will be surely clarified, and then the mindset and thought process will be different, right? So the same, now they started rolling out such kind of thing because the scale they are achieving, even Microsoft is growing at a very big, faster pace. The same with me. I stopped working on Azure because my projects were working on some other cloud platform. But since I have moved new geography here, our full focus is on Microsoft Azure. From last 6 months, I am like day in, day out, talking, learning, working, even relearning the things which the notes which I made couple of years back. I'm trying to again things, okay, that at that time it was at that scale or that level. So much enhancements are happening on a daily or a weekly basis on the Microsoft Azure platform. So it is always a fun learning. It is not that we will get bored from the same services, but the more and more innovation are happening from the Microsoft side, it is giving a room to learn new things always. So this is the physical location and the physical architecture. Everything is connected internally, and this physical location is apart in the Mumbai, and in Mumbai right now, oh sorry, in India, it is something like they created the whole region. They have a plan to made multiple availability zone in the Mumbai and all the three Indian regions also. But there is something that, because when they started, there is something, the laws come into picture, or some kind of enforcements are there, that a data need to be reside in the geographic boundary. So Microsoft is very strong in that, because if let's say a customer is hosted something on the Mumbai region, at least there is again some rule you can check. Maybe a government is saying that the backup or disaster need to be reside in the country, and it need to be 500 miles apart, right? So Mumbai to Pune is not a 500 miles, but Mumbai to Chennai, you can figure it out. It's much more than 500 miles. So that is where the beauty. If let's say anything happen in Mumbai region, maybe a human error or any technical error, the Chennai region is able to survive, and that is where the scale of applications are running. We are not talking a scale of hundreds of thousands, maybe a billions of requests in a day. Be it maybe any segment, finance, lot of things, media, lot of things. Just try to imagine now. We are talking at a billions of user scale perspective, not the millions or not the hundreds of thousands. So that is where the beauty of Microsoft come into picture, and they are putting more and more things. As I explained about all these things, so sometime, as I mentioned that not all regions supported by availability zone, but now it is getting expanded, and then important from the technical aspect, as it is connected internally, the latency between from the one location to the another, let's say even from the Mumbai to Pune, if you try to check or build some kind of infrastructure, try to check their internal, you will find it is maybe lesser than 1 or 2 milliseconds. That is their promise and their SLA. That is where the research and engineering come into picture, right? And then important thing is the myth again from the architect perspective that everything out of the box is always available, or highly available. It is something depend upon how we are going to architecture. According to that, we will receive our service level agreement. Service level agreement is something that Microsoft is assuring that these things will be always up and running from their side at some layer from which is comes under the responsibility of Microsoft. And if you design in such kind of manner, you are getting such kind of availability uptime, or you are going to connect. And if any, let's say some kind of mistake happen or some kind of error happen from a Microsoft side, then they will justify in the form of maybe let's say less pricing or some kind of credit, something, some laws are some kind of norms are there in their agreement. Those kind of things always need to be considered, because whenever again I'm focusing now on industry specific, whenever the production grade thing into picture, a customer will want to know what is the SLA. The customer is not interested in the first step or second step, that what is the technology or what is the biggest VM size Microsoft Azure can give me. But customer will always understand that how the SLA or availability of Microsoft Azure is. Can you explain? That is the important point to architect anything. I understand we are learning via the demos or some predefined labs, but if you start developing these kind of ideas and start putting effort to learn about all those things, the thing will be much in a different way, and especially in the long term, when you're going to really adopt cloud as a career and you are seeing yourself in that place where you are planning to do right now. So these are the technical plus a driven or the business driven terms need to be aware for becoming at any layer. It's not only specific for architect, because architect is a very broader term. Architect can be a developer, system admin, database admin, data analyst, ML guy. Architect is a very broad statement and a very big term. So let's cover. I have missed intentionally. I have not put. I believe we all have understand about the basic of cloud, the design, infrastructure as a service, and something known as a platform as a service and software as a service. Those are the very basic, and it is explained in the multiple kind of scenarios, not only from a technical, but I see a lot of scenarios are given of like a pizza delivery, something that at what is the responsibility in that case, like if we order a pizza, that if we ask for a delivery, what we need to do and what is the responsibility of a pizza provider. The same something if we go for a dine-in, what will be our responsibility, blah, blah, blah. You can figure out all those basic terms, what is the different layers of cloud, right? Simple giving example, if we are using this, let's say a Teams. So it's a subscription as a service kind of model. We are just utilizing, we are not developing the things. There is a point of development also if we want something specific implementation of Microsoft Teams, but we are utilizing it something. But when it comes to hosting something, we want some operating level system access, the infrastructure as a service come into picture. And when we want that pre-configured environment is ready-made, we don't want to install anything by own, because it may possible that installation of a few things are very complex and it may mess with the operating system layer or something, and we don't want to waste our time to configure. So out of the box, those pre-configured environments is available and we can utilize. So I want to now focus a bit on the networking part. That is again the most ignored part, but the most important part. This is my own personal experience that even I missed, and I relearn in a very hard way. I really need to put a lot of effort to understand about where the networking fit. I understand maybe first year, second year student, you have not gone through your networking subjects, but if you really have interest, if you are utilizing cloud, you are not bound to learn only when the academics will come, but that is where the beauty of internet, a good internet user come into picture. Utilize the internet, endless good resources, quality resources freely available. Try to understand nowadays the information is in a very efficient and a beauty way available. It's all about how or what is our interest area and how much effort we can put. So important part is everything here is software defined. Even the network become a whole software thing. So these kind of some bricks and blocks we need to design to understand. And let's say, giving the analogy of simple, a building, a physical location. Let's say this entire Microsoft Azure is a city, right? Or let's say some area. This is an area, some area you can assume, and Mumbai is a very big city, right? And this is our one complex or one what is that, CHS, corporate housing society. Okay, and that society consists of again multiple blocks or building, block A, block B. Try to imagine and grab in that way. I am also learning in that some realistic example which I can remember it easily. Like this is a building. Okay, then it's our job how we will be able to translate into the technical term, but try to predict and try to memorize in the way which is easy to memorize and use for you. So I always like that this is a building and this is a one building and this is a one main gate, and here our security guard resides, right? And this is one block A and block B. Let's say we are very eco-friendly people. All these things are covered with garden and trees. Even our building, we are very eco-friendly people, right? So only way from going from block A to block B is we make some shed and path, so that in a rainy day it will only go through here. No one cross the road of these our garden, our beautiful flowers and trees. There is only a way, and no one can directly access, or the walls are so high that no one will be able to jump the wall. These are, let's say, very, very big wall, and in some secure manner, no one will. The only point to enter is from here, and here is, let's say, our security guard need to check. And if someone want to go to building B, there is some path from here, or they need to cross this path A and path block A, and block A will create a connection with block B. Try to understand from that area. Don't go to the technical part, but try to assume that, okay, this is how the visualization is, because see, imagination is bigger than knowledge. The knowledge will help you to improvise your imagination or to give you the right path, but we can imagine in a multiple ways that yes. And when the complexity come into picture, let's say some kind of then gate we have put here, that is something known as a NAT gateway or some kind of traffic, let's say only for these specific or any VVIPs people, they don't want to cross this road. They said, no, I want some special privilege. So there is some kind of gate we can build here. So these are the things which will help you to understand from a different aspect. And these are the core. Now just giving the next example of compute. A compute is something that we are taking as a computer, right? It's known as virtual machine, as your virtual machine, but it is not a one single thing. It will reside like now let's say that virtual machine is your house. Let's say in block A, 5th floor, some house number, some let's say 501, house number 501. So itself is that house that is for a family. So that become, let's say, in that block, in the overall our building block A, this VM is residing. Now in technical term, this VM can be a, let's say, web server or database server or something, but try to understand all those small bricks and blocks and how those are connected, and things will be much clear. Let's say now this many disk and all those things, the design of the house, maybe a house is having 3 BHK, having some balcony or maybe a big kitchen and all those. So these are the moving part which is essential for any house. The same we can translate into that these are the essential things which is required for a basic virtual machine, or these need to be there. Now taking into maybe a little bit more, a computer. A computer is not only a computer, it need a hardware which consists of a CPU, RAM, hard disk, a display, and then operating system come into picture, because without operating system we will not able to communicate to our hardware. So try to understand, things will be there. If you try, I always try to put this kind of easiness in my learning, so that whenever the things will come, I will able to understand and explain in a proper manner. So technology always comes secondary or maybe later stage, but people will come first. So try to understand from that angle. I'm not going too deep. I am going to talk a little bit more about both network and in our next couple of slides. So coming to, if you are looking to become an architect in a longer goal, architect is a very broad thing. You don't only need to about cloud. At whatever stage you are, even you are in a final year or you have passed out, or if you are a working professional, if you are looking a serious career, especially in Microsoft Azure, know about virtualization. That is the one of a key important thing which will help you to shine in a much bigger way, because still industry is around 80 to 85% running on premises. It is not that everything is running on cloud. We are seeing the adoptions are getting, but those adoptions are with the customer sizes maybe 10x bigger than whatever they are running on Microsoft Cloud, Microsoft Azure right now. So there is a big room, big demand, skill shortage, skill gap is in the market, in the industry. So the career path is much bigger. You need to understand, this is again, these are the points which I'm going to talk that is applicable for everyone. Whether you are a developer, whether you want to become a developer and you want to utilize cloud services, or if you are an ML guy. Let me tell you quickly about ML guy, because I know in the student world ML is very famous and people are doing awesome job. I am also learning from a lot of students. Ali is one of my mentor. He is teaching me about the basics, that how I can learn the same way which the ideas which I am sharing, because I am also I learned this way, and this is my bread and butter. So whether you are a developer or ML guy, see, ML seems easy on that part because cloud is giving that agility and all those beauty stuff, the powerful infrastructure. But think from the industry perspective. Maybe 90% people will never go for the pre-trained and pre-configured model. It is easy, because Microsoft is again having its own data sets and blah blah. They build with a very good accuracies, and they have published to use in or consume in a very easy way. But industry is looking for their own things. They want still at a infra layer. That is where the GPUs and more things, or more powerful thing, whether the FPGAs or application specific integrated circuits come into picture, which we studied in our academics, but we never see the implementation of that industry use. And cloud is covering all those things in much bigger way. We all learned about microprocessor, microcontroller and all those things, but somewhere we are not getting a chance. But that is where the cloud is adding a value. We all learn the networking subject, we all learn the RDBMS subject about all those CAP theorem, acid properties, all those keys, how the things and performance metrics. Theoretically we have learned. Cloud is giving the way that we can learn and see physically, especially let's say the networking part. OSI model. There are 7 layers. Okay, data physical and data, we understand. Okay, physical device is required. But what about the other things? Where the application layer come into picture, where the network layer come into picture? What are all those TCP things? Cloud is giving those kind of things in an easy way, and you can visualize. Yes, this is how the layer 7 work. You can monitor and you can go deeper, much deeper. Okay, what is happened at layer 7, how the connections are happening, how the TCP is working there, what is happening at the network or layer 4. So this is where the beauty, and you need to imagine that the power come into picture, and we all have resources and power in our hand, but how to utilize. Because most of the thing I talk with many students as well as industry people, they said, hey, I learned and I watched that course, what I need to build. That is the thing which is the most missing, and people don't then drop putting the efforts. That is the high time, and that is, I believe, if you learn theoretically, you need to imagine that what practically you can do. So coming to the virtualization, as I mentioned about the ML guys, you need to know about the infrastructure also to train the model. That is where all those powerful things come into picture. Because see, buying a hardware with a huge GPU is expensive, but renting and utilizing in a very secure fashion is much easier. And when the things will not required, you can destroy it, you will not paying it, your work will also done, everything will be happy. But you really need to know it is not a single VM thing, but how you can maximize the power of that machine. Even from last 2 days, I'm seeing a one image is very much spreading on LinkedIn and other social media platform, that couple of people are there, and there is a one side one GPU is sitting like that, the core 1, core 2, core 0 is underneath that road, and core 1 is pulling that, and core 2, core 3, core 8 is waiting what's going. So it is what they are trying to show, in that mean that it is not only about the infrastructure. When the power of this development and that strategy and design come into picture, how to get maximize utilization from the power or the hardware or the infrastructure which you are renting. That is the most important part. So for being as an architect, from being as a whatever your interest area, you need to understand or imagine first of all end to end. It may happen that let's say there are the 10 steps, maybe 5 steps you are very interested, but 5 other steps will not in your interest area. It's okay, but knowing that will help you to strong your these 5 steps much better way. It is not that we need to master everything, but at least we need to know what are the dependencies. That is the most important. Software defined everything, because we are getting everything as a software. Previously we are not able to see hundred of GBs of RAM or such kind of thing. Now even if I tell you that there is something infrastructure or the virtual machine which is having a RAM of 60 terabytes, 60 terabytes, I'm saying, not kidding, you can search that, 60 terabytes. That is very purpose built, very specific for specific purposes. Yeah, obviously it comes with some cost even in cloud, but the thing that the 60 terabyte of RAM and running at that scale is not a cup of a tea. That is where the Microsoft put their, again, research, engineering, all those effort to make it easy for the customers which they want. I have used maximum around 12 terabyte of RAM. I showed 4 terabyte multiple time in my multiple sessions, that it's very easy. I love my 4 terabyte system, right? It's super fast, that the things are working like a charm, and it is having a connectivity of hundreds of Gbps, not only hundreds of Gbps easily. And if we can club in a multiple way to do some specific, even I have not club it, but there are possibilities are there. Again, the room of learning is always there. I'm trying to learn and trying to see what else I can do, and what is the power if I have this thing, how I can utilize and maximize it. So everything is software defined. Network is no longer that slow and sluggish one. 100 or Gbps are now the normal norm, right? Again, understand software defined everything. This is maybe make a note of, you need to search about software defined networking, why it is required, what is the purpose of that, and how it is differentiate from a physical to this, because a lot of keys come into picture and lot of problems are come into picture, that why we need that, right? And now if you talk with an experienced network guy, whether they have experience heavily in any specific vendor hardware networking products. Without software networking, that guy will not not stop their journey. So it's not only non-network software defined storage. We are talking about an exabyte scale, not a terabytes and petabytes, right? So exabyte scale, how we can run and how it will be in a secure fashion accessible. Same with network compute. Compute is this virtual machine, as I mentioned. You need to understand the virtualization, why it is required, and virtualization is also now much mature. There are again multiple layers of virtualization, para virtualization, now hardware virtualization, more and more custom virtualization. That, let's say virtualization is some kind of a remote control which is filling a gap of your hardware and your operating system, and let's say a multiple operating system is running on your physical host. This remote control layer, which is known as virtualization, is managing those things in an isolated manner so that one will not talk to the another. That is where the concept of multi-tenancy come into picture. That is why cloud is in few cents per hour kind of thing, because we are using the shared services but in a very secure manner, and we are utilizing as per our demand and requirement. These are the basic ideas and basic thing for the longer picture, right? From the software for becoming an architect, you really not only about, it's not only about technology. I made this kind of mistakes in my career when I was only over enthusiastic talking only about technology. Hey man, we have cloud, we can complete the work like that. But I got a lot of feedback and answers that, hey man, okay, you said technology, understand, but who will justify the bill? Can you answer that? That is where I understand, okay, but the people are not ready. The application is not ready, right? It is not that everything is out of box ready. There is a lot of engineering, and maybe another term which you can make a note, 6 hours of cloud migration. 6 hour, R means there's a multiple terms in that, like re-platform, re-host, refactor, retire, retain, repurchase. So these are maybe a small terms which you need to know, and then you can understand to actually think about a target of you are going to work for the customer as a professional, right? It's not that the customer will on day zero, they have nothing and they are looking for the cloud native thing. That is where I mentioned 80 to 85% of global infrastructure is still running on premises, and all those kind of application, whether some ERPs, web application. Okay, another key point, web is a good thing, but not the whole business is only a web. Web is maybe a one small portion of overall industry. Web presence is okay. That is where the back in the era of 2000, the .com boom came into picture. But that is not the end of journey. Web is expanding. We are getting all those web application, native applications, or all those things. But that is just a one small portion. It is growing, yes, but you need to understand the giant businesses which are established from maybe 100-year-old companies, maybe lot of industries, right? So those are still there, and if as an architect I need to design their journey, design their digital transformation journey, I need to cover a lot of about processes. A simple process. Just give me a second. Okay, talking about the process, I believe one word we everyone heard, DevOps. It's again no longer a new term, but there is no one definition of DevOps. DevOps itself is not a technology. Whenever we talk about DevOps, couple of words obviously click in mind: Kubernetes, Docker, containers, CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous delivery, or deployment. Something come into picture. If you heard that, well and good, but try to understand DevOps is not a one thing. Again, technology is maybe third or fourth part or fourth step, but process, people, whether people are really able to understand the thing or they are ready to understand, or talking about a technology is always cool. You and me can maybe, or we all can talk maybe for weeks and weeks for our own core areas that what we are doing in technology, right? But when it comes to process, things will be in a different shape and different manner. So being as an architect, if you are planning, again, becoming an architect and getting a title is one thing, and understanding a thing, understanding the whole landscape is another thing. It will be time consuming, not a time consuming, it will take time and it will happen step by step as per the experience. It is not that we are getting a chance to work in every field. I will share some resources. I will try to share that how I am learning, or maybe you can start your journey and maybe improve your, or change your even the whole thought process. Maybe I believe it will be helpful. So that is where the things come into picture. DevOps is the overall very big thing, technology. And again, inside the technology, there are multiple things come into picture, right? We don't need to learn every tool, every platform, every technology, but we need to understand what is the requirement, what you can do best for your customer or for your profession, right? As a hobbyist, you can do, I will touch on that example in the later, maybe in the next 10 minutes, I will touch on that example, but think about that you need to understand the domain, the process. That is why the rules are there. Rules are okay, rules are make for break, those all things are okay. But understand first rule, then only you will be able to break that now. So that is the key here. That is the message I want to deliver. You can make a note or this slide will be available. Virtualization, software defined networking, storage, compute, or just a bigger again broader term is software defined data center, SDDC. That is again a broader picture. Don't quickly jump into that. Maybe step one, understand the history, why it is actually required, where the IT started and where it is shaping. Then virtualization come into picture, right? Another part is the end user, that okay, you are not interested in that, you want to build the website, and okay, that's the different key area. I'm not going to talk on that, but I'm talking purely on the cloud perspective that you need to learn, and these kind of things will be helpful for the longer term, right? I would like to show quickly couple of things now. So let me share something here. This is the key resource I would like everyone to understand and everyone to open and bookmark. Just search about Azure Architecture Center, because I want to answer the question that, okay, I watch a video. You said that, like, let's say Chirag saying that, okay, everyone should have their portfolio, and you will come back to me after a week, say, hey Chirag, I have created my portfolio. What else I can do? It means there is no room for me to learn. That is where the beauty of, the experience of these providers as well as the customers come into picture. Just bookmark this. This is the key essential resource, whether you are just started, whether you are just trying to feel that how the things will be, or you are already experienced at some certain level and you want to expand more. This is the Microsoft official documentation will give you the idea. Again, see, these are the different categories and workload for the AI, for the data, for the DevOps, for all these things. Let's say I want to go something, my favorite is always network, but let me see if something sweet thing, here sweet thing, basic web application. Now, web application is there is some hosting required, but let's go, and these category comes with one architecture plus the explanation why these things are getting used in this architecture, what are the purposes. This is maybe a 5 minute of this article, but to understand completely it may take 5 weeks also, guys. Even this is just a basic web application. That is where your existing experience plus your new learning come into picture, and all those documentation links are there. If you don't prefer documentation, I will share the another resource also, in which you will get other in a video form. So you need to understand what is the problem statement and how it is getting configured and all those things. Now coming to again the favorite topic I always want to highlight, ML, right? Machine learning at scale. Maybe you need to understand that what they are trying to say and what are these things, and here are some ideas given. Now let's see, for some kind of machine learning services, you can see a different vertical or different categories that you want to do something, and they put some kind of, like, it's from Microsoft side, they have put some ideas. Let's say you want to train your model on Kubernetes cluster. See, there are the multiple technologies involved. One is a machine learning part, one is a Kubernetes. So everything is distributed, and these are the blocks or the dots which we need to connect to do our thing. Here you can see it is given You can see the flow. More you can see on their GitHub. It will given and some kind of code or these things will be provided. You need to explore from all these angles. And another blockchain guys, I know my friends, my blockchain friends, for you something. I'm looking forward to hearing from you after what you explore from this side. I'm not going to do so I'm expecting that surely you people will come back. And now coming to the HPC, if you never heard, it is something known as high performance computing. These kind of words maybe we heard while talking about ML and all those things, genomics and all this.
Chirag, I wonder whether you are sharing the screen. Probably, I suppose, like, you're talking on by seeing your screen. Probably, like, people are not able to see your screen.
Ah, sorry. Okay, give me a second then.
Yeah, I send a few of the links by hearing you, so that, like, people can have a quick look at that. So probably if you can share your screen, that would be really good.
Sure. Oh, I think it's a miss from my side maybe.
No problem.
Because it's a first time experience for me about Teams, but yeah, very, very well managed. Thank you. Thank you for that. So I believe now, guys, again, looking for some comments and some feedback.
Yes,
right? Okay, so again, let's start it with Microsoft Azure Architecture Center. This is the whole 9-yard thing. These are the categories. You can explore again the area of interest. I mentioned about all the basic things which need to be covered. Even networking is there. If you want to understand, let's say some of the technical term of hub and spoke. If you know about the network, because it's not only about a one network, maybe there are multiple applications by a multiple department in a single organization, but they have some kind of dependency. Let's say some application A have something dependent on application B and B have dependent on C. How those multiple things come into picture? What are the key caveats or catch points need to be there? So this is the best thing, because this is another thing. We will not get everything on job and in our experience, right? It is not that I am also slowly starting from the infra side. From the last 18 to it's been almost 2 years, I can say I'm moving into the data side, especially the analytics space, how the Hadoop and the data cleaning work into picture, how we will collect the data from, let's say, millions of IoT sensor in the live stream fashion, how it will get cleaned and it will set up in the space of data warehouse. Simple giving example of in RDBMS, we all learned, we are the students who are first and second year, you are going to learn something known as OLTP and OLAP. OLTP is a transactional databases, which is both heavy read, heavy write. OLAP is an analytical databases, which are for the analytics or batch purposes or the longer data query purpose. Simple, realistically, LinkedIn, I have found everyone posted something because COVID data set is available. Someone trying to create some kind of charts. Someone may be putting that data into their data warehouse or something, trying to do some queries and posting and making it a public, right? That is also a very, very good project. But in this case, we are getting a very cleaned data and all this. If you're really interested to be a data analyst or data engineer, you need to understand the end-to-end pipeline from the data integration to the data massaging and cleaning to the data dumping to the data visualization. So these are things come into picture. So you can explore. I was showing the example of this basic web application. Let's say some kind of multi-region. Let's say example of some kind of this media streaming platform or OTT platform on which we are nowadays, relying, like all those famous. I don't want to take this name. I believe you get an idea. The plan, and we want that movies and all those seasons, right? So that is where the cloud come into picture. Let's say that provider want to expand in some different country, and but they don't want to build their data center because that is not their core business and their area. That is where the example. One question I got in couple of time. I just prepare one example for that. Just want to share so that you will memorize and the area. That let's say you want to open a furniture shop, right? You want to sell the furniture, but it doesn't mean that you need to own a jungle or the place where the trees are, because maybe your wood supplier will be different. Your area is to build the furniture and sell the furniture, not to feed and all those, so that the wood will come into picture. There is that area that for the wood cutters and all those things, They are doing their job. That is their business and that is their core competency. Being as a furniture shop owner or guy, business guy, my work is my raw material is coming and I need to build, right? Another here also, let's say I have a very huge investment. Then I can own some private land and I am going to put some very specific type of wood which I want to sell or which I want to. But that is a different use case. That is where the industry is. It's something like not everything will be on cloud. That is where the norm of hybrid connectivity, hybrid cloud come into picture. So beauty is something that quickly as I want to expand. Let's say again, furniture guy or furniture owner. If I think that okay, I need to first acquire a land to build because trees will not grow in a day or a week. It will take years, right? So my business will, it means postpone for let's say 10 years. But I want to start now. So somewhere supplier will be there. I will set up my business entity and start doing the work rather than focusing on where the raw and I need to know the raw. So try to understand from that area. Everyone can happen, but how it will justify your business, your core competency, that is the most important thing. So this is the one architecture side. Another I would like to share. I think again my screen sharing off. I will share it. Just give me a second. Let me bring this thing on my display and here we go. This is a very beautiful resource center I found. It's by again Microsoft official. Just search My Ignite Microsoft and you will land to this page, right? Here you will find and highly recommend you just watch those fundamental or level 100 session as well as the tip for AZ900 is also here. Just search that, just watch that. It will be much helpful to understand about exam because AZ900 is a fundamental level exam which is testing that the basic like which I explained about that region or maybe the service levels different layers like infrastructure as a service or platform as a service or the some even databases as a service they cover under the platform as a service model, right? All those things are there. It is not too technically but more on the side of the conceptual that how the things are designed. For that again add-on is hands-on experience. If even not, but if you understand the things conceptually and if you play in a very small scale that okay something like Azure free services is there because if you create your account you will get some Azure free services which will give you some kind of privilege to access. Again, these are the simple maths I always explain. People said that hey their bill will got increased, but the beauty is it will not, but Microsoft will give $200 also if you create a new account. And as a student, I believe under MSP you are getting something these account without putting some credit card and all those information. But highly recommend to play because until unless let's say play for the failure, you want to quickly see that how quickly it will create, what are the steps. Even if you don't understand the steps, just try to first create, then recreate. Next time take some time to go one by one option. Next time again create, let's say first time you will create it in 2 minutes. Next time you created in 10 minutes. So same thing. End goal is to same thing, but how you will learn that is up to you. You need to understand what is the strength zone and what is the area in which you need to put efforts to learn, right? So this is the site. You just make sure you just mark it. And the video which I would like to first share inside Azure data center. So this is the video. Again, I want that everyone will watch. This is available again on YouTube also for this because it's a very high definition videos. You can watch it on YouTube also if you are facing playing the media on this website. But just search about this Azure data center architecture with Mark Russinovich. That is where they are showing everything. Even Microsoft is having data center. They're testing data center underneath ocean. I believe this news we heard, or if you guys not heard, just watch that and see the innovation. Something known as we are all understand that SSDs are very super fast, but there is something known as NVMe. It's not a new thing. From NVMe even they have run some project named Scootio. You will see all these, and I believe that will be the best next a 90-minute investment or 70 to 90 minutes of your time investment within next 24 hours. Whether if you are not interested in watching it now, maybe I again highly request and recommend watch it tomorrow morning. Don't try to understand all those technical things, but try to understand where the things are going. First of all, that will give you idea somewhere. Yes, and those things make a note again. Make a note while watching this that some words are there. You need to research from your side, from the hardware innovation to the networking to all those cooling, and as well as the our environment thing, everything is covered. And they showed the Microsoft data centers itself, which is not easy to see and easy to go because we don't have a physical access. Highly recommend, make sure you will watch that. And then if you want to really become an architect, just watch that the architect track and understand about maybe just I would like to share AZ300 something, right? Maybe it's a very high level, but you just want to take a glimpse. I want to say I don't want that you will dig deep. Maybe just watch this video, you will get that what kind of domains or what kind of areas which we need to understand. Okay, this is the exam specific. Don't plan for any Microsoft architect exam if you are right now in a student phase, because being as an architect, really a very real experience is required. Passing exam will not give you anything. Let me tell you very bluntly and clearly, don't target that. AZ900 is a good to go to because you will put some target and there is some target and you will rewarded by something. That is a different level of feeling. AZ900 because it is a basics one and it will clarify and it will push you to learn the things, right? And for the same thing, beautiful, because I am not fond of following multiple resources because that will create a big confusion. Even I did in my career. Now I stopped following from last 1.5 years. Now I am sticking with only one resource, and especially my this Ignite videos is one of my biggest source. If that is not there, I will show the another resource which I am using, and that is again free of cost, right? So here just search about fundamentals, just make a track. See, security is everywhere. Don't ignore security if you talk about clouds. Encryption, no. Talking about encryption is not only a security. There are a multiple aspect of security at a network layer, compute layer, or something. Each layer security is playing in a different way and you need to understand. So wherever this fundamental, it is a 100 level session and it will be easy to understand by you guys, and you will be able to build your own confidence, right? So like the networking is there, and I suggest that this is a very explained in a very funny way. This video, like discover Microsoft Azure. These are 45-minute to and 60-minute session. Just watch, you will get an idea. Just search about the fundamental wherever you see the storage, network, compute, fundamental of Azure, fundamental of data center, and all these things. Or maybe ML if you want to understand these kind of things cover here in an easy way. Okay, let me share my last resource here, and then we will good to go for our question answer. I'm expecting a lot of questions, guys, so feel free to drop. And here we go with our screen share. So this is Pluralsight. Pluralsight right now it is going with some free offer of Apple, but search about always this Microsoft, then Pluralsight. You will find a one link which will lead to, because Microsoft is having some partnership with Pluralsight, and you will get a free of cost. Again, very specific Microsoft Azure catalog and courses, not the other, because Pluralsight is a big, they are covering a lot of technology and lot of courses. But here you can see these are the different track and different. Again, these are the name of certification, but each certification is some role based. Inside that you will find a course from the basic level to the advanced level. It may come, it will be helpful in the longer term, but if you want to see, if you are not able to find some resource, most of the thing you will find in Ignite or Channel 9 MSDN. But if it is not there, don't try to hunt at 10 different places. I suggest again, don't do such kind of thing. You will get more and more confused. Land to Pluralsight, sign in. Again, it's a purely free of cost. Here you can see they have the partnership with that, and register and start free, and you can watch all those catalog and try to understand the things. So I believe that will be enough for today, and I'm open for the questions.
Is Ali in the meeting?
Sorry?
Is Ali in the meeting? Hi, Chirag, I'm Shubham.
No, he's not.
So Ali is not seen here in the meeting right now, but I'm
Okay,
sure he will be joining in a few. Hello? Yes?
Yeah.
Take one and moderate the questions. Then discussion.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. If any
So,
question, please feel free to share.
hello. Chirag, there is a question by Gomez. I have seen job requirements, but all of them ask for more than 2 years of experience. So, how do you advise us to get experience besides doing hands-on labs?
That is where I showed, yeah, very, very beautiful question. The same with me, because I started and I made my mind while I was in college, and I struggled literally, like I appeared maybe 10 plus interviews in my career before starting. This is my first job from last 3.5 years. I'm in the same organization, only my geography changed, but it's a born in cloud organization. So I'm happily doing that, and it is really helping me to improve more and more. The question is, the answer is, you need to really make sure, first make your mind. See, there are multiple factors. One is a need, one is a want, right? You need to understand if you're really needy, or you want to do anything, or you want to do one specific thing. Apart from hands-on lab, you need to build something to showcase from, let's say, do one thing, but deeply to showcase. Then there will be no point that you need at least 2 years of experience. Again, there are multiple sides of this thing. It may happen a 2 year experience of guy maybe not able to answer and not able to understand the thing. But if you want to build your core capability, you need to focus. Let's say, giving you an example of a simple thing, how I did also. I created, we know, WordPress, because I don't want to code. First of all, the people tell you, let me tell you, I never write a code. I don't like to write a code. I know, but it's not my nowadays, day-to-day job. I am just looking for some kind of a good GitHub resources where I can understand all those. Again, labs come into picture. But how I started, WordPress, host WordPress on a single VM, host WordPress on a multi-tier thing, right? And maybe refactor it because plugins are there. Offload the images from the hard disk to the blob storage, put some CDN, try to cache the query, put some Redis layer. Multiple technologies came into picture because for the production level of any application, these are the key component. MySQL is MySQL, MS SQL is MS SQL, maybe little bit of feature richness here and there. But at the end, the industry what want, those are the specific. Cloud is giving all those distributed component. Now, if you learn about a multi-tier, fine. Now try to do the same thing on Kubernetes. Who is stopping first of all? No one. If you know, you need to put effort to learn Docker and understand the Kubernetes. AKS is there. Again, you need to run, not if you want to a blogger, that is your choice. But if you don't want to test to understand the concept, maybe few hours or few days of work, and it will maybe cost few things. Because if we are looking to earn something, we need to spend something from our side. Nothing is free. That need to be very clearly set up or established in mind. And again, I'm not expecting to spend huge. Even I am not spending more than $10 or $10 a month. And it is something that which will justify our, one burger meal. It is nothing like whatever the cost, 600, 700 rupees a month, just a one-time burger meal for us. But if we spend in a way that can give us a big return. So try to the same WordPress. If you establish in the Kubernetes, you will understand the multiple areas. And while that, you can understand about monitoring, logging, how you are getting the visibility. Then you need to make your portfolio strongly to present. I understand the JDs are also there. I can tell you most of these job descriptions are copied from the West world, right? Most of the people don't know even what they actually looking for. They just copy pasted. I understand there are a lot of improvement, room of improvement always there, but how you will present yourself is a person to person, and how strongly you present, again, that is a different. Present and strongly present, two different things. That is where the want versus need come into picture, the difference between the both things.
Hi Chirag, I suppose we can ask a directly question over here on the voice also.
Yeah, you can do that.
Is it?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, then make sure one by one so that there will be no hodgepodge.
Okay, probably. Okay, I'll start first. My name is Sushil and from Hyderabad. Okay, and my question is, since you have been given a very good understanding about this, thank you so very much. Considering a question and a sub question. The very first thing is a one person who is from a different background coming into the cloud. What exactly you prefer or you suggest a person to move into administration, development, or in security? Because all these three areas are very much in demand, and what would be a person should choose as a part of cloud technology. My sub question is that what exactly the challenges, if you see, not with the perspective of the financials and all this, but yes, with the perspective of resources availability. I have seen a lot of people are asking for the dump and all those, which I don't believe it, because until unless you do not have your own knowledge, I suppose if you give you all the dumps, still you are not able to crack the exam, because nakal ke liye bhi akal ki जरूरत होती है. So these are my two questions. What would be your recommendation, and what would be the challenges from the resource standpoint?
Okay, fine. I understand. Thank you for asking. So the simple thing is, you need to first have your own area of interest. It is something, I don't know what's the background of a person, like from which domain. It may be some different industry, and a person want to switch to the cloud industry, right? Cloud is again covering everything. First, quick answer is security is, don't take security as a specific. Security is at every layer. Security becomes specific only and only when you become so much experience and the domain expertise is required. Security for cloud healthcare industry is a different than the payment industry, different than the web, than the data, than the blah blah blah, right? Security first, you need to understand from each and area basic aspect, and it is a continuous learning. Security is not a one-day job or one week job. That is the first. Second, the person need to take a decision. If you like the code, that there is an opportunity. If you don't like the code, admin part, if you really good in the Linux and Windows administration, understanding about the operating system layers and all those things, those kind of factor will impact the decision. Not go again. This is what you clearly mentioned, that you are not in the favor of dumps and all this. The same with, you don't need to be in favor of where the bhed chal ja rahi hai, right? Demand is everything for everywhere. I'm talking about SAP. SAP is having itself a code domain. SAP on Azure is one of a biggest thing, and the different thing going on. People are experienced people, the people who are into that functional SAP, they shifted on Azure, SAP on Azure, and happily doing. Same decision need to be come from your internal, not from here and there. The more you people talk, the more you will get confusion. You need to first decide what actually you internally want, whether you want a development, whether you want this administrator part. Security will cover. Now, how to start and what kind of, I showed a couple of resources. I recommend start with these free resources. Don't go for any premium training, and don't go and put yourself in the trap of 100 different things. Again, there are a lot of memes, or these are right. Having enough resources, but if you don't know how to utilize in a maximum way, make no sense. That is a bullshit, right? So don't do that. And talking about an exam, I personally wrote it today. I created a video because simply, let me tell you bluntly, Oracle made this thing freely, and our guys are so dumb. They don't know even how to register freely, because no one want to put a 1 minute effort. I can tell you, Oracle made an announcement. Next day, they made an announcement how to register in a blog post. That is maybe 5 steps. People are not ready to put that effort. And in my video, around 250 comments, 150 comments is only asked about dump and here and there. And some guys are sharing that. And I put that thing even in my LinkedIn post. You can check. Morning I put, and some conversation going. I mark couple of people. I'm even against about the practice question. If you really have experience, let exam need to be surprised. You can really do that. I have also failed back in 2017. At that time, my confidence, hey man, exams are like, but yeah, now I have around 22 or 21 something odd certification, and I like clear like a charm, like it's just something, because I'm doing this day in day out. But you need to really know how to leverage the certification value. Certification not will give you value if you really don't know what you are supposed to do, or what you are doing, or where you are doing. Another thing is where also come into picture. Not every company encourage and want, but in some companies that is very big push. But for you need to understand the purpose. So these are the small thing and resources I showed. Ignite video, Channel 9, MSDN, official Microsoft content, right? And all those, the plural site. I don't want to confuse with the 10 different resources. I'm not against any good resources, because creating a resource can also put effort. Even I have a plan to create a course, right? But I don't want to put the people in the confusion of 10 different things. Yeah.
Good one. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hey,
Chirag. So I think we are. Hello. Yes. Go ahead, Shubham.
Yeah, Chirag, Shubham. Actually, I had this question in our private meeting, and you scolded me for that. But then I want everyone to get the answer for this question. Like, should students run after certifications, or they should focus on understanding a bit more and in a depth? And second question is that let's say for learning a programming language or a particular technology, let's say machine learning, there are certain projects that you can practice, there are certain projects that you can leverage technology on your own, but how about what are resources there for cloud to do projects that you can show on your resume, that I have done this sort of project on cloud, that I know this sort of technology of cloud, so that I can leverage on your real life project. How can
Okay.
one go forward for that?
Sure, sure. Okay, let me tackle the first one quickly. See, certification, first of all, simple answer. First year, second year, third year, please don't go for that. If you think that AZ 900 is a fundamental level exam, even AZ 900 is something for everyone, right? But it is not that considered that if you do AZ 900 and then you will get a job. Let me tell you, it is for like a people like who are changing the field, the experience, especially the sales people, right? That who want to change, because let's say in IT industry, sales people are there. I'm also playing a role of a sales guy, right? So it is to understand from the sales people, then in the industry that will get a value for them, for those kind of people. But being as a student, first 3 years, don't focus on any certification. It will not add any value. You will at the end forget everything, because you need to understand one thing: cloud is ever changing game. It is not that whatever the virtual machine was 5 year, now it is same. Maybe it is much feature enriched and the design pattern and getting changed. Don't go for that. Final year student, especially again the last semester student, if you are preparing and if you have done something very good and you are sure that this is the core area and the cloud you want, maybe a one certification you can do from the perspective of to understand the technical part, whether the security one can be a good one or admin one or developer one. All those three kind of certification is provided by Microsoft Azure. But don't go first, second, third year, don't go. I will not recommend. There is no point to put. If in some program you are giving a voucher, you want to try your knowledge, it's okay. But I will recommend, do not spend anything from your pocket for the certification. Better you build whatever I showed, the virtualization thing, the networking thing, because when you will be in the fourth year, then you will be able to leverage that, and then certification will be just like a cup of tea, guys. Right now, the second part is special target of machine learning, guys. That is where I showed that architecture center, the demo code is there. Now let's say, giving you a simple example, machine learning is not only about these anomaly detection and prediction and blah blah blah. Why, how many people have, okay, we may be here, we can't raise the hand. Everyone have their Facebook and all those profile, and we are a superstar there, right? How many people really have their your own portfolio or your own website? Have you ever purchased a domain? It's a 500 rupees investment. If you can't do that, sorry guys, there is a no room then in the longer run. You should have the domain name, put a portfolio, and then maybe let's say, can't you 5 people help each other? Try to put some load from a different IPs and location. Your logs will be generated, right? Then think that how you can clean that log and create maybe a small model. Maybe there are some generators are also there to create some fake logs and all those things, but you will get an idea the end to end, which will cover the networking part, your end to end integration, where you are log storing and how you're getting log from one place to your centralized place. And then maybe you put your whatever the model, whatever that's regression and blah blah things you want to try, whatever you think, and then destroy that thing. But the learning will be there. Make notes at which step these are failing. Doing a lab is okay one time, but most of the people failed in doing, in translate into a practical thing and then say, hey, I have done this but I don't know how to do. try to imagine the steps actually from the industry. That is where the architecture center I showed, you can get an idea if you want to try. It can be a one lab, but until unless you don't have anything from your side, I don't see the good value of them saying that you want to put it on resume. Still, to learn everything, I'm using the same WordPressing. I have around 12 or 13 domain names with me, right? I'm trying every day to do whatever I'm trying to learn. Even let's say the NLP. Put some comments, put some, these again, make a group of 5 friends. I don't think there is a problem to, help each other. Make a group and put some comments on your front end and maybe then call your NLP API and see the sentiment analysis and all those things. You will get your idea that how you integrate, how the real time things are happening. Let's say I put a comment, or at least you can reach out to me. I will put some dummy comment, right? Whether you want a good comment or some, bad comment, feel free to reach out to me at that stage. So this will give you the idea, and then you will see the both aspects, the front end side, the back end side, your notes and your thought process and your learning will come into picture. And in resume, it's not that you need to put a cool project name, but if I ask you, please explain it, then that is where that you need to have that strong point. The first question the guy asks, that 2 year of JD experience is asking. But if you present your project in a way, that is the whole thing. That is, see, industry is looking for the basic and the fundamental, because every company wants to train their employee. It is not that on day one you will be entered into the production grade environment to manage. It's a step-by-step learning curve. It is not a one-day thing that you need to be always perfect. Yes, Shubham.
Thank you, Chirag, for that lovely answer. I guess Ganesh would take over from now here.
Okay.
Is there any questions?
Hello.
Hello.
Ali is here.
Yeah, hello
Ali.
Ganesh. Hello. Hello everyone. Thank you for joining in. Thank you, Chirag, for a wonderful session.
Thank you.
It was amazing. And I totally kind of agree with you on the points of students and projects and portfolio. Like that's how it exactly should be when you are kind of starting your career in any technical field, regardless of the technology. How you represent yourself and the projects and kind of, everything. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity and hope to see everyone in near future. Take care, guys. Stay safe.
Thank you. And I hope you guys are sharing the recording also, right?
Thanks, Chirag.
Yeah, we are doing
that.
We'll
be sharing the recording.
Yeah. Sure. Thank you.
You can connect with Chirag on LinkedIn. Just search
I
his
am
name.
connected. Yeah.
Thank you, Chirag.
Thank you, Chirag. That was very good.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Take care.
We are ending this meeting right now. Right. Arnav, could you stop the recording?
Shubham, we have a Kahoot session.